We're just talking about the different strategies taken by the two major parties on their advertising this campaign. Let's take a closer look now. I'm joined by Toby Ralph, a seasoned marketing strategist who's worked on more than 50 different campaigns worldwide. Toby, let's start with Labor's ad, the Prime Minister, in terms of it's not my job, that sort of line. Does it resonate, Toby?
Absolutely. That's the most effective ad I think we've seen this campaign. Because let's remember who the targets are in these commercials. The majority of people have already made up their mind who they're going to vote for. We're talking to a handful of people who are swinging voters in a handful of seats. And the trick with them is to get them to, because they dislike all politicians, they tend to. The trick is to get them to dislike the other bloke more than they dislike yours. And so you use negatives. The way to effectively use a negative is to find something that people dislike about someone and build on it. And that's what they've done. They've been running a long campaign to discredit Scott Morrison, and it's been very effective. And these ads are the cream on the cake. I think they're very strong, tough ads which are affecting, or I would guess are affecting swinging voters. Now, I'm not seeing the polling. I'm not seeing the individual focus groups and things, but but from a professional point of view, I think they're very well done because they're feeding into bias.
When you look at the coalition trying to raise concerns about Albanese, but there just doesn't seem to be the same material to work with as there was with Shorten just 3 years ago, Toby.
Yeah, they're swimming against the stream, unfortunately. Albanese's weakness, I mean, he is of the left, obviously, although he's disguising that pretty well at the moment. But he's seen as a good bloke who perhaps lacks a few leadership skills, but he's upped his leadership skills and his look, and he can build on the good bloke thing. So he's a pretty hard person to attack. At the moment, my read of the election, as many people seem to be, and I stress I've only seen a couple of private polls and then the public ones, Labor it's Labor's to lose, you would have to say. And, so the coalition are on their way to the abattoir. So if they don't kick their way out of the truck or out of the pen, soon they're in real trouble. And I think the only way they can do that is by having a gigantic scare about the economy and how Albanese would mismanage it. But what they're doing right now, I suspect, isn't tough enough to cut through.
When you look at the cost of living pressures, they're having a real impact now. So do those warnings have less resonance because people are already hurting?
Yeah, they do. Although ultimately, if people get really scared about the economy, they tend to lean right. Political parties are just brands. And brands own things in the consumer mind or in the voter mind. Like Volvo, if you think about Volvo, most think that owns the idea of safety. When you think about the two political parties, Liberals tend to own tough management and Labor tend to own caring, be it true or not. So if when the voter goes in to cast their vote, they're thinking, oh my God, I'm worried about the economy. We need to run the shop really tightly. That advantages the coalition. If they're thinking we have to be kinder to refugees, we have to look after health and education, that advantages Labor. So the coalition will really need to focus hard on the economy and make people worried about it.
When you look at Josh Frydenberg, specifically that seat, Keep Josh is the billboard, or a number of billboards, in fact, in Kooyong. What about his effort, his marketing to try and localise and make the question just about him as he tries to hold on to that seat?
He needs to. Frankly, the message Josh needs to make is because people who are voting for Monique Ryan, and there seem to be a lot of people who intend to vote for her, will see Josh kicked out of the Liberal Party. Well, you'll see with her and also with Zoe Daniels in Goldstein, who's fighting against Tim Wilson. If Tim and Josh get kicked out of the Liberal Party, that's really going to damage the moderates. And it's the obverse of what the people voting for those independents want. The real message in many ways is, look, if you vote for Zoe Daniels, is a vote for Peter Dutton and the right of the party to take control of the Liberal Party. Now, that's a complicated message and you can't really run it, but that's the truth of it.
It sure is. Toby Ralph, it's great to get your insights. A really interesting discussion with you today. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.